Yo, what's going on, man? It's Zupa, Curvy Joseph, man. Hey, you listening to the Honolulu Blues. You hear me?
Hey! Oh, I don't have my flag. Hey! Zoop, 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 zoop. Kirby leading us off, dude. We are here with the Honolulu Blues. We got Julius. We got Adam. Dude, we got the full squad. We got the full squad, boys.
In a minute.
We're ready to party, dude. The season, it's FTP week, dude. FTP. Like, here we go, boys. Fuck the Packers. Welcome to the Honolulu Blues. We're here to rip on the Packers. We got a lot to talk about them, along with the Detroit Lions. We got our annual over-under show that we're going to do today. This is the first episode with all three of us here in probably 2 months. So let's catch everyone up who is just joining us right now. Julius, you out in Germany still? How's life going? How did the summer treat you as we get into September and football season?
Well, my daughter was born on April 1st, as you guys know, and then I started the summer off by visiting my great friends in the Honolulu Blues and enjoying my home state of Michigan for a few weeks. That was awesome. Came back, got back to work, but still been relaxing for the most part, trying to enjoy the summer. It's going by pretty quick. Week one's already here. Life is good, Adam. Life is good, Nick. Great to see you guys. It's been a while.
Woo! It's been too long. Adam, same question to you. Just tell everyone, how has your summer been? My brother, what festivities have you gotten into?
Oh, man, it literally feels like just last week you guys were over. We were throwing touchdown passes in the water, having a blast. That was awesome. But real quick before I get into things, too, whoever is watching, listening, thinking, what the hell? Here these guys are. I've been looking for them all summer. Don't be worried. We will be back. This is going to be the norm. Once the season starts going, we will be getting some more content out. Might be solo, might be duo, might be trio, but we will definitely be punching out the content during the Lions season. So fear no more. The Honolulu Blues have returned. But no, it's been a great summer. Honestly, these last 2 days have been like the highlight of my summer. And Sunday, I got the opportunity to go down to a Kirby Joseph meet and greet. Shout out to Top Shelf Liquor. Shout out to Blue by 40 or Blue by 90, on Twitter. Give them a follow. And they invited me to not only get some stuff signed by Kirby, but get to ask him a few questions. So I got to ask Kirby Joseph a couple questions. I asked him, my first one was, who stands out on defense outside of Hutch and Brian Branch and some of the other big names? Right off the bat, he said Terrion. We'll release the full sound bit probably later this week. But he was high on Terrion and he was high on Davenport. And those are two of the perfect guys you want to hear. Davenport being the opposite edge, if he could stay healthy, will help out the defensive line immensely. And then Terrion, if Terrion could just be that first rounder, take that second-year lead, Lions will be doing well. So that was awesome. And then Monday, yesterday for Labor Day, my boy Ian, he has a hookup. Actually, not really hookup. He works for the Mets. So he hooked us up with literally front row tickets. We're right behind the dugout. You could touch the dugout, put your drinks on the dugout, and you could watch Tigers game from there. The only down part is all the foul balls go like 8 rows right behind your head. You're just too close for everything. It's a gift and a curse because when the T-shirt people come out, they're not about to hand it to the people right in front of them. So we had no shot at that. But all in all, high-scoring Tigers game. I think it was 10-8. And the funniest part of the whole thing, I'm watching Juan Soto up to bat. Charlie Morton's got 2 strikeouts on him. pull out my phone. This would be hilarious to see Charlie Morton strike out Juan Soto. Let me get a video of this. Very next pitch, grand slam. So sometimes the videos don't end. That was like a fail the wrong way, I guess. So all in all, great weekend. Happy to be back with the boys.
It's great to be back. You know, it used to be you got all the foul balls in the front row before those nets. You just caught them in your teeth. You know what I mean? You just caught it with your eye socket, and you had a ball. You wouldn't remember anything for the rest of your life, but you'd have a ball. Now they put these nets up, man. They make you have to sit so far back just to get a foul ball. When we all went to a Tigers game a few months ago, we sat in prime foul ball like territory. We didn't get any, but right behind those nice, comfy seats, the best seats I've ever sat in a Tigers game. Dude, they gave us $40 to go spend on beer and food. Like they really hooked it up. Julius hooked it up for us, honestly. Kudos and shout out.
It was crazy last minute too. I sold the tickets. They didn't sell. I got them back. Refund, free seats.
And before we moved to there, we were blistering, melting to our seats up in the upper deck. So all's well that ends well. We are not ending well, though. We are just starting the Lions season. But before we get to the Lions season, let's talk about one thing that is ending soon. We are in the final month of regular season play for our beloved Detroit Tigers. They are still in first place in the AL. Just a quick recap. How do you boys feel about the Tigers? We've had some slumps as of late. We've had some winning streaks as of late. How are you feeling going in, Adam, to the final month?
I feel pretty good. Scott Harris made 15 trades for 15 different relievers and pitchers, and most of them haven't really panned out, but Kyle Finnegan has been a dog. 14, little over 14 innings pitched, no earned runs, just been throwing gas nonstop. Paddock and Charlie Morton are shaky. Paddock actually did just get bumped down to the bullpen, so maybe that'll change things up. Hopefully Sawyer Gibson Long, I believe, comes back and he could be a good starter for us. Melton could be another good reliever for us. But all in all, I'm still feeling pretty confident with all the trades that happened, all the Mariners, all the the Red Sox, everyone that made trades around us, the Astros. No one's really put the hammer down. The Tigers are still in control. Tigers went on a nasty, skid a month ago. Literally had people worrying about the division, and now we're back to normal. Division's just about wrapped up unless a catastrophe happens. And I'm confident in the Tigers. I definitely think we can make a run at not just the AL pennant, but the World Series.
I love it. Julius, what are you thinking, brother?
Right now, it's just a great time. I mean, last year with the Tigers, at this time, we're all still hype on the Lions. Last year was a crazy hype dream year for the Lions, especially starting off. And the Tigers were doing this weird come from behind, best team in baseball, second half of the season. Then they flamed out. This year's a little different. I feel like we got World Series hopes. I'm a little worried about pitching and hitting, honestly. Our lineup is inconsistent offensively. We leave too many players on base to win a pennant. And then pitching-wise, I'm not sure Scott Harris did enough to add to not only the bullpen, but the rotation as well. I'm just worried overall that our weaknesses and our holes is too much to overcome. But I'm enjoying the ride. It's been great. They're well coached by A.J. Hinch. Go Tigers.
Hey, man, I think that the Tigers are the best team in the American League and close to the best team in baseball, even after the injuries, even after the trades and acquisitions that we did during the trade deadline. Honestly, I'm not worried. I wasn't worried. We are continuously winning. We may go in slumps, all of this, but we are the best team in the American League. So why would we be worried in any way, shape, or form? The Yankees do not scare me. The only thing that scares me is catching a team when they're hot. I think we have the best team. Do I think Javi Baez is an everyday starter and should be playing? No. I mean, yeah, we have a lot of inconsistencies all throughout the 26-man roster, but so does every team. No team is perfect outside of the Dodgers. And again, the Dodgers, yes, no trade we could have made was going to put us on the same roster per se as the Dodgers, we would have needed to make many big trades just to get there. For them, whatever team just has to catch them on a hot week and beat them. But to win the AL, we're the best team. We've been the best team in the American League outside of maybe a few days where the Blue Jays caught back up to us, but I am not worried at all. So I'm all in, World Series bound, Tigers winning it all. And we're going to flip over the Detroit Lions, who could also win it all this year. Boys, just maybe. Don't say I'm crazy, but we got a little bit of news and notes. Let's go over it all.
Breaking news! Breaking news!
Not so much breaking now, but it was just a couple days ago. Micah Parsons got traded from the Dallas Cowboys. And Kay Adams had an interview with Aiden Hutchinson the day before, and it got dropped that morning, where she hinted at an NFC North team trading for Micah Parsons. And that was Aiden being like, oh, I haven't heard that. I'm sure he just gets his deal done, blah, blah, blah. It's not going to be the Lions probably. And it wasn't the Lions. In fact, it was the desperate fourth sister who is just doing anything they can to make themselves stay noticeable, in my opinion. The Green Bay Packers. They see that Kevin O'Connell is building a very good scheme and team in Minnesota, regardless of it's Sam Darnold, regardless if it's Nick Mullins, whatever quarterback you give him, he goes out and wins with. And now he's got his Ferrari ready to go. JJ McCarthy, we'll see where it lands. The Chicago Bears did everything they could to replenish their offensive line, their offense in general. They obviously got Ben Johnson, and I got their coordinators from the Lions. The Packers see what the Bears are doing, and then the Lions are just obviously the Lions. So the Packers had to do something. They trade away their best run defender in Kenny Clark. I think maybe the best run defender in the NFC North, if that's at least in the inside defensive line. If you want to argue that with someone, please let me know. But I would probably say best run defender in the NFC North. And they trade away 2 first-round picks next year, which could be late first-round picks, could be early first-round picks. We'll see. To get Micah Parsons, sack connoisseur Micah Parsons. This was huge. This rattled fans from Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago, Detroit, everyone. There was a period of trepidation, like it was like, oh, what just happened? I need to process this. Some people immediately just gave Green Bay the NFC North. Vegas sure did. They jumped right on the bandwagon. And some people said it wasn't that much to worry about. Then about 24, 48 hours after you got to sleep on it, it seemed like a lot of Lions fans had started to hear things that they could tell themselves to sleep at night, like he wasn't a good run defender, like he was just, a one-trick pony. Look at what Penei Sewell did against them when we played the Cowboys last time, yada, yada, yada. We've had a few days. We haven't really been able to discuss it ourselves with everyone being so busy. So I'm going to start this off with Julius, and we're just going to ask the plain and simple question of, how do you feel as a Lions fan for the as the Packers get Micah Parsons? How do you feel?
Nick, I'm not worried. I'm not worried. I am not worried about the Packers at all. We have dominated the Packers. Dan Campbell owns the Packers. Amon-Ra St. Brown owns the Packers. Kirby Joseph owns the Packers. Penei Sewell owns the Packers. I am not worried. The Packers made a desperation Matthew Stafford Rams trade for a non-quarterback. Okay, week 1, if Micah Parsons sacks Jared Goff 2-3 times, wrecks the game, I'll come on here and tell everybody I'm an idiot and I'm wrong. But that's not going to happen because Micah Parsons is a defensive end. He's going to match up against 2 of the best edge protectors in the league. And the Packers sold away their future with a bum at quarterback named Jordan Love. Those are my emotions.
I love it.
Worried. I'm not worried. Not worried.
I love it. Adam, what do you got, bud?
At first, I was, a little worried. I saw a report that Packers had made like a strong offer to get Micah Parsons, and I was just, no way this happens. No way Dallas trades him. and then Dallas did. And I didn't like it, wasn't a fan, especially for like the 2 first-rounders. I kind of feel like they got him cheap. They do have to pay him a boatload of money, so it kind of, offsets. They're going to be now putting like $100 million into Jordan Love and Mike Parsons the next, 3-4 years. So if either of those guys, most likely Love, ends up being, just not a bust, but not worth that money, this trade it'll just turn south quick. And I think the Packers, they don't win it this year or make the Super Bowl, make a big run, something crazy this year. I think it's going to be so much pressure will be on that 2026 season, and they might not be able to do anything about it. Parsons, it sucks. I'm not too worried about it. The only person I kind of am worried for is, I guess, Jared Goff, and that's just because he's the only guy that can, really take a full punishment by Mike Parsons. Because if he does get sacked by Parsons, it's probably going to hurt. So, all in all, Lions have a strong offensive line. We've been handling Green Bay the last 6 games. Dan Campbell owns LaFleur. Maybe these games are a little more low scoring now. Maybe he, slows us down a bit. But I wish I would have looked at the week 1 point spread to see if it swung.
I didn't check it either.
I know. I'm pretty sure the Packers are favored. I want to say the Packers were like a 3.5 point favorite.
They're 2.5 right now. Well, they were this morning. It
went from even to 3.5. And it might have moved because Parsons might be hurt.
So I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
So he's dealing with an L4, L5 vertebrae issue where he now has to get an epidural. For anyone who doesn't know what an epidural is, basically they shove a huge needle in your spine to get it numb. It's what they do to, for women who are having children, and it just kind of makes you numb. I don't know, but like that's just like how my wife kind of described it as, and who knows if it's the exact same, obviously, that my wife got. But ultimately, like just to play in week 1, and he says they didn't pay me all this money to sit on the bench. I think week 1, it's not that big a deal. I do think for the next 3 years, he's going to be a menace. He'll be a menace when healthy. There is no doubt about it. But we can win in 2 different fashions, right? We can win passing the ball and we can win running the ball. We've shown we can beat Green Bay in sloppy weather. We've shown we can beat Green Bay in the dome. I am not worried about Parsons. I think that our run game, which is already, to me, it seems like the biggest part of our team that I'm the most nervous about going into this season. And not because of Jahmyr Gibbs, not because of the new running back coach, not because of the new offensive coordinator, because Frank Ragnow and Kevin Zeitler aren't there anymore. And I think running is just going to be a little bit harder to come by, especially in the early goings of the season. With that said, I think that helps us out losing Kenny Clark. I think that's someone that Tate Ratledge now no longer has to battle. And yeah, he'll have to battle Parsons or Rashawn Gary when they're flipping and spinning inside and it's not up to Decker or Sewell. And that'll be a tough go for him. And they might beat him once or twice. And that'll stink because you don't want to let up sacks or anything. But on the run game, because that's 2 pass plays out of a possibility of 30 to 40 from Jared Goff. On the run games, I think we got exponentially, we got help. The rest of the division, all the opponents got help when it came to running against the Packers because they got rid of Kenny Clark. I think Jerry Jones was onto something with this. As crazy as he is, I think he was kind of onto something about this. So I'm not too worried at all either. But we are going to go from one trade to another, and that's Tim Patrick. After T-Slog, I'm going to say his name wrong all year long, so don't worry about me, boys. After he got a touchdown in 3 consecutive preseason games, just looking like a beast, finished it off with the Scotty Too Hottie worm, just the best worm I've seen in forever. I don't know. I think maybe Tyreek Hill did a really good worm back in the day. It's like the only other time I saw a celebration like it. He was like, I don't know if I'm going to even see the end zone this year. I'm going to get all my cellies out right now, dude. It was great. And then we traded Tim Patrick, who I thought was a lock. I just thought it was a lock. And we were going to be like running with those 3, J-Mo, ASB, Patrick, Slaw and Khalif Raymond. But then we send Patrick to Jacksonville. And that opens the door. Like Coleslaw is now he's wide receiver 3. Like, look out for Mayotron. So I just want to hear your like thoughts and opinions on how this came, how you feel about Slaw now going into the season in FTP week. Just the thoughts on the Tim Patrick trade, because we didn't really get to talk about it. I didn't even write down what we got, so I don't know what we got. I think it was like a
sixth rounder.
Fifth or sixth? Sixth. That's what I thought. 6th rounder. So Adam, we're gonna go to you. What do you think about this whole thing?
Ever since Brad Holmes made this pick, when he traded those 2 third-rounders to get a guy that nobody even heard of, hardly had college football stats. I want to say he had one season with like 580 yards, but he just tested off the charts. And when Brad Holmes did that, I myself was thinking, oh, why did we do this? Or for a receiver, we got J-Mo and Amon-Ra, and even Laporta too. But now it's starting to come together, and I really think this is going to be a light version of what happened with Jahmyr Gibbs. And that being, we traded back, took Gibbs at pick 12. Everyone freaked out. Oh, my God, a running back. They don't need a running back. A running back's crazy. Well, Gibbs, helped us win multiple playoff games, is just looking like the best running back in the NFL now, and the right pick. Even though the media ripped Brad Holmes to shred. Well, the media ripped Brad Holmes to shred again when he took Tesla. And I think we're going to see this dude maybe not, ball out, be, someone, a household name or anything crazy like that. But I definitely think we're going to see big plays. We're going to see, him make contributions for the offense and, helping us get first downs. And there's a reason they traded Tim Patrick. They didn't want to have an excuse to not play this guy. They are saying, we're going to put all the chips on the table. We saw what we saw when we drafted this guy, and now we're seeing the same stuff in preseason. He very well could be, that next Puka. And I bring up Puka because Brad Holmes himself said that was the one player he missed out on. He really wanted to draft Puka, but we had just taken J-Mo in the 1st round that year before. So it was like, yeah, we could, maybe spend a 5th, 6th round pick on Puka, which doesn't really cost much, but you still got a 1st rounder in J-Mo and Amon-Ra. So Brad Holmes might have not been as aggressive. Now he gets his opportunity again with T-Slaw and wants to, hammer that down, not look back, show the world that this dude's a baller, this dude can play. And I think he can. He's done everything correct. From route running to blocking to high pointing balls in the end zone. He's looked very good. And granted, it is preseason. There's always those preseason wonders. We had another one. Jackson Meeks, I believe, was 2nd or 1st in receiving in the NFL. Didn't make the team. Back on the practice squad, thankfully. But T-Slaw, I wouldn't be blown away if he was just like a preseason wonder. It wasn't that good. But I'm really more confident that he will be a solid contributor as opposed to just, a Tom Kennedy type guy.
Yeah, I like that. Julius, before we get to you, we got a quick shout out to Jonathan Johnson here, who gets a quick I'm not mad just because he did turn Tim Patrick into a free draft pick, which Adam was just saying how we gave up a couple of draft picks to go get Slaw. It's kind of like a little bit of compensation coming back. So I don't mind that. Julius, we'll get to you here. What do you think about T-Slaw and the Tim Patrick trade and everything that's gone down?
Nah, that's a great point. With Brad Holmes playing chess, everybody else playing checkers, they crying every time we trade up for a player in a draft. Other teams lament it like it's just the most horrible thing, and then it works out. And they're like, "Oh, worked out that time." Instead of just calling Brad Holmes what he is, which is a top 5 GM in the NFL. But Isaac Tesla, I feel like he could honestly be the dark horse week 1 Packer killer. Just because nobody's expecting it. The Packers aren't expecting it. The Packers also lost Jair Alexander. Who says their secondary is that great? I did notice that Tesla missed practice today. I just want to put that out on
He
air.
did. I was going to bring that up as well.
It's not explainable as far as I'm knowing so far.
Also, another quick thing, the Lions did just release their unofficial depth chart, and they do have Tesla behind Cliff Raymond in that wide receiver 3 role. So.
Absolutely makes sense. We know how Jared Goff loves his reps with receivers, and all of those touchdowns were not from Jared Goff that Slaw caught in the preseason. So none of that surprises me. But, still just curious what you think about him, Julius.
I mean, he's fast. He's big. He just looks the part. He's a Michigan kid. He's honestly a much improved version of Tim Patrick, and I fully understand why Brad Holmes would make this trade. I don't know. Right now, I'm kind of stuck with the not practicing and then the unofficial depth chart, but I really, really believe he could be that guy. We always talk. There's always a dark horse MVP. We could do it on the air if we wanted to, just like our offensive, defensive MVPs, but it'd be just take too long. But Isaac Tesla could be my dark horse offensive MVP in week 1 just because of the threat he provides and how incognito he's kind of running, especially probably with the Packers against the Packers defense. They have to worry about so many guys.
Dude, listen to their secondary. Tell me if you know any of these guys. Starting when this is unofficial, it's from our lads.
McKinney, that's it.
Exactly. It's Keyshawn Nixon, I guess, unrestricted free agent from the Raiders. Nate Hobbs, unrestricted free agent from the Raiders. Javon Bullard, second-round pick last year. And then at safety, you're at Evan Williams, 4th-round pick last year, and Xavier McKinney, obviously big free agent signing.
Where's Darnell Savage on there? Is he slide down? So I know he was their other safety.
I do not see him listed on the depth chart. So I don't know. We'll have to dig into that. We'll dig into that. Did we lose Julius? We lost Julius. All right. No, he'll be back.
Savage is on he's on the Jaguars now.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They ain't got nobody at secondary. That's why they had to get Micah Parsons, because they knew that their secondary wasn't going to be able to cover people if we couldn't. They didn't care about stopping the run. They knew that they were going to get blown up week after week. That's why I was targeting Matthew Golden and a late undrafted restricted free agent. What the heck? Undrafted free agent in all of your fantasy leagues. If Matthew Golden has a hard time coming out, especially if DJ Reed locks him down week 1, Romeo Doubs has been getting a lot of talk about really being someone different this year. And Jaden Reed was in a boot like 2 weeks ago and still limping like 3 days ago. So I don't know if he goes. Romeo Doubs could be because you got Detroit week 1 and then you got Washington week 2. Could be a really good steal for anyone looking for a flex play. Matthew Golden, they're going to be in a lot of scoring situations because their defense sucks, is what I'm trying to say. I'm waiting for Julius to get back. Then we'll get to over-unders. Hopefully we get him back soon. But before we do that, I guess, Adam, 53-man roster came out. We saw the guys who came back to the practice squad. It was obviously a little eerie to see Dan Skipper be released immediately. But any thoughts on Skipper?
Yeah, that was odd. I thought he had made his name onto the team, kind of cemented that spot, but Dan Campbell said this is the best roster I've ever had, most talented roster. And when he does stuff like that, where he's trading away Tim Patrick, Dan Skipper, those guys are not your typical grade A starters, but they make you feel like they're glue guys and like guys that you most likely want to have on your team. But it brings me to my next thought of, is there someone better that Brad Holmes or most likely Dan Campbell wants to, see more of? And Dan Skipper just being there kind of cancels out that opportunity. So anything Lions are doing right now, I'm for it. I like the weirdness, the shakeups, because anytime I feel like I know what the Lions are doing, I feel like that's not good. I want Brad Holmes to be one step ahead. I don't want the fans, the media to really know / expect what's coming.
Yeah, Yeah, I hear that, and I agree. It's good to see him back, though. You know what I mean? He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Dan Skipper, he's a Detroit guy through and through. I still love when Jameis Winston saw him at the Super Bowl and was like, you got to be someone's left tackle. Dude. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I love it. Let's get to over-under. We do this every year. If you're watching, make sure you put your answers into our comments. We'll get them up here on here. We're going to keep track of our answers, and we'll come back to them at the end of the year. I believe, I don't know. I think maybe you guys tied last year. I was going to look for the old sheet, but I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't find it. So I don't remember who's reigning champion. I don't remember. I got all the sheets in my trusty handy-dandy notebook. We are old school with this. I'm going to do something different, though, this year, boys. I'm going to say it, and I'm going to go over or under on 3. 1, 2, 3. Give me a thumbs up for over, thumbs down for under. We're going to all do it at the same time instead of 1, 1, 1, okay?
Yeah. So
we'll start out as we go. Jared Goff, we'll start with the quarterback, and the first one is 4,599.5 yards. So basically, does he get 4,600 yards or more or under? And then I'm going to do it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I don't know what that is, Julius. That's under. Okay. All right. You can keep doing flag. I got you. Both of you guys say under. I'll say over. Let me do this real quick.
I think you won last year, Nick.
Adam, why do you think under?
I'm thinking we're going to go more run heavy. I feel like the Lions will be in control in a lot of these games. The one thing I am concerned about is the tough schedule. Typically when you play good teams, it's going to be, we might have to chase a couple teams when we're, down a score, 2 scores. But for the most part, I feel like it's going to be a Gibbs just complete breakout season from the breakout season.
I love that. We are not going to do everyone. We're going to do, Julius, you'll be able to talk about why you chose over under on the next one. I'll do the third one. We'll keep it going. We're already halfway through the show. This normally is a full show, so we're going to move things along a little bit here. But we're going to keep with Jared Goff, and this is set at 32.5 touchdowns passing this year, no rushing included. Does he get 33 or more, or does he stay 32 and under? Everybody on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Julius is slow to the party, but it's only one taken under. Julius, why are you the only one taken under on 32.5 passing touchdowns?
I truly believe the Lions are going to be the number one run offense besides the Ravens in the league. And based off that, I don't think that I think Jared Goff has around that 30 mark. I just don't believe he gets higher than that.
Okay. All right. And that's kind of where that 32.5, I bet, is going to be very close. Let's try to get all of this on the count of 3. All right, boys? Let's do our best at doing this on the count of 3, not 4, 5, 6. We're going to go to Jahmyr Gibbs. This is set at basically, I'm just going to give where it's at, 1,500. So we're talking rushing yards only. Is he get 1,500 or more, or is he at 1,499 and under? Everybody ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Dude, Julius, are you under again? Oh my God! I'll make sure I'm reading yours right. He's saying under for the first 3. Me and Adam both taking over here. I'm going to say I like the over for 1,500 because I think you guys might be right in the sense where Goff maybe not getting as much as we think he will. I still think he'll go over because I think we have a prolific offense, one of the best in the league. But I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have a crazy, insane season. And I don't think there's a way that he doesn't get 1,500 rushing yards. But I do want to hear, and I might start switching this around because I want to hear the one person who goes the opposite. Julius, why do you think he goes under 1,500?
Oh, I might have messed up.
David Montgomery rebound. I think David Montgomery has his last great season this year.
All right, that's a bold take. That's a
Was that 1,500 rushing or rushing and receiving?
No, that's rushing, bro, because he's going over 2,000 all-purpose.
Rushing only.
Yeah, I think I would have taken the under. That's all right.
You're over with me, dude. He's
That's
going to
all right.
get 1,500. Don't worry. We're going to rush him into the ground. It's going to be a huge rushing season for Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs, this is total touchdowns, rushing and receiving. 13.5 is where the line is set. So does he get 14 or more total touchdowns? Over or under on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. We all say over. And then we got it first, Julius over. Adam, why are you taking over 13.5 rushing total touchdowns?
He had 4 in that San Francisco 49ers game, week 17 last year. Maybe it was week 18. Regardless, he had 4 in one game. Gibbs has the potential to get 4 in a game. If you get 4 touchdowns in a game, that's going to help out the numbers a lot. I do think he's going to have multiple breakaways, but I kind of with you on the Montgomery resurgence, Julius. I think Montgomery is going to be back to that inside the 5, give it to Monty, and he's just going to, smash it down your throat.
I love that. Speaking of David Montgomery, let's get over to David Montgomery. I'll let us think about this. 825 rushing only yards. Does he go 825 and over? Does he go 824 and under? We've all processed. 825 is the line. 824.5 is the line. On the count of 3, does he go over or under? 1, 2, 3. Over, under. Me and Adam are going to be very similar.
I know.
All right. We're going to go with Julius. Why are you taking the over?
I smell a close to, if not 1,000-yard rushing season from David Montgomery off his resurgent year that I'm predicting.
I love it. We'll keep with David Montgomery. 9.5 total touchdowns. So does he get 10 or more? Does he eclipse double-digit touchdowns? For everyone drafting him in the 5th round in fantasy, you better hope he does. But on the count of 3, 10 or over, 9 or under, 1, 2, 3. We're all taking over. I mean, Monty touchdown to start the game is just like, come on, what are we doing here? These are all lines that I made. I don't know what Vegas. So if you're like, I need to smash these overs and unders, then
the Gibbs rush yards was a little over. Gibbs
I bet
Vegas,
it is.
1,075.
1075?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I'm not worried about that. Last year I did it with like St. Brown, what it was, and he like crushed the over. And I learned, I was like, all right, these guys better than Vegas does. That's some good lines. You know what I mean? We'll move to receivers, though. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 1,300 yards or more, 1,299 or less. On the count of 3, 1,300 yards. Over or under, 1, 2, 3. All say under. That's a bad sign, boys. They're going to clip that one. They're going to clip that. I'll take this. I'm saying the under because I just think that we're going to see more push to JMO than we do to St. Brown this year for the first time in a while. Last year, we saw some games where St. Brown wasn't even really targeted, and he got a little emotional about it, which we won those games. It wasn't a big deal. I just think I think that JMO is such a fast and explosive wide receiver. Laporta's going to get back in the mix. Jahmyr's going to catch more balls. Slaw's going to be out here probably catching more balls than Patrick may have. I just think there's a chance that St. Brown gets over 1,000, probably gets over 1,200, but does not eclipse the 1,300 mark. So we all said under on that. We'll keep with ASB. 11 touchdowns. Does he get over 11 or more or 10 or less on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Me and Adam are just on point together. Julius, why are you taking under on 10.5 touchdowns?
I just think that JMO and Sam Laporta and Isaac Tesla and Jahmyr Gibbs are going to eat too many. How could I forget? And David Montgomery himself. They're just going to eat too many red zone targets, carries, opportunities, breakaway touchdowns, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's just going to have to share the load.
He's just going to have to share the load, which is good. He's been playing in the league. We know how he plays. Keep him healthy for the postseason. Let's go to JMO. Same thing as St. Brown. I set them both at 1,300 yards to see where we would go. 1,300 yards for JMO. Does he go over or under on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. All say over. We're on the same page on that one. Adam, why are you taking over for JMO?
The number
13.
one. I think him wearing that number 1 is going to make him just so freaking good. I keep beating the drum with this. I don't know. I can't explain it, but JMO's just – he's a guy that plays off confidence, plays off, looking good, swag, aura, all that. And that number 1, oh, my gosh, it looks so good on him. He very well could have a Tyreek Hill-esque breakout where we see Amon-Ra plays that Travis Kelce role, Mr. All-Reliable, getting the receptions, but JMO's just that deep threat. 200 yards in the first quarter, 3 touchdowns. Never know.
You never know. We'll keep it with JMO. I set it at 7.5 receiving touchdowns, not rushing and receiving, just receiving. Does he get 8 or more on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Oh, me and Julius say under. We'll go right back to you, Adam. Why do you think over on 8 touchdowns or more?
I think he's just become more reliable than just a deep threat. And I feel like that's what Ben Johnson kind of viewed him as, just a deep threat. And we saw a lot of games where JMO, I think there was the Commanders game, he had a nice first down catch where he jumped up, got it right in his chest, and got drilled by 2 guys, held on to it. And he's kind of showing more that he's not just a speedster. He's an actual, give me the ball in any spot, any position, I'll catch it. So I think that's going to lead to some more touchdowns. And, all eyes will be on Gibbs, Amon-Ra, JMO, cutting across the back of the end zone.
I love that. We'll keep with wide receivers. Our new wide receiver 3/4, depending on what depth chart we want to look at. Isaac Teslaw, Mayotron, Cole Slaw. Let's say it one more time for the boys in the back. Does he get 450 receiving yards? 450. Over or under 450 receiving yards on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Me and Julius both say under. Adam says over. Julius, why are you saying under here?
I just don't think that he's going to have the consistent role. So, like I said, he might be the dark horse offensive player of the week in week 1. He could come out in week 1, have 5 targets, 5 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. That's what I mean by dark horse offensive player of the week. However, I don't think he's the dark horse offensive player of the year. He's going to have weeks, maybe couple or multiple weeks where he might not show. It might be Khalif Raymond. It might be Sam Laporta. He might have no targets. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. So that's the reason I say under.
To get 450 yards, he has to average 27 yards a game. It will be interesting to see if he does that or not. I'm with Julius on that. I don't think he hits the over. And if he does, it'll be just by a bit and because he comes on hot at late in the season, in my opinion. Hopefully we're both wrong and he has 3,000 yards. We'll move to Sam Laporta. This is our last offensive guy. Does he get 900 receiving yards? Sam Laporta, I said it at 900. Does he go over, under 900 on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. We all say under. Maybe that was a little too egregious for the old Nick line, but we're setting it there. And I hope he goes over and proves us all wrong. We all say under. I'll take the lead on the reason why. For me, as much as I do think he gets involved, and more so than last year, it's then the theme of this whole segment. Lot of mouths to feed. How I got a lot of overs happening here, not a lot of unders. So I did a couple unders in a row. It'd probably burn me with Slaw or Laporta. One of them will hit the over on it, but I went under on him. So we'll see how it goes. Laporta, 8.5 total touchdowns. Does he get 9 or more on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. We all say over. All right. So Adam, take me through why you took over on 9 touchdowns for Laporta.
Another guy that could score multiple touchdowns in the game. He had Didn't have 3 last year, but I think he had a 2. But he has had 3 in the game before. Goff loves him. Very reliable. Had a just insane touchdown grab in the Commanders game in the playoffs. I think it really showed that this dude isn't just, a solid tight end. He's a great playmaker, good hands, and isn't afraid to, put his body on the line for the end zone.
I love that. And we'll move over to defense with that. Let's start with our boy, Aiden Hutchinson. I said it at 14.5 sacks. Does he go over, under, coming back from leg injury? On the count of 3, 14.5 is where the line is. Are you over or under on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. All day. Julius, why is he going to go over 14.5 sacks?
Because he's the best edge rusher in football. And the only reason that wasn't proven last year and he didn't win Defensive Player of the Year and all other accolades attending to his greatness is because his leg got broken in a freak accident in damn Arlington, Texas, of all places. So he looks better than ever. I have faith and hope. And my faith and hope is that he breaks the sack record this year.
Does he? Does he?
Yes.
No, put it on the board. Julius says it. Put it in the box.
23 sacks. That would be insane.
23 sacks would be insane. He was on pace for it last year. We'll see what happens.
He has 24.5.
Oh, my God. All right, let's keep it going. Marcus Davenport, we're set at 4.5 sacks. We'll bring it down quite a bit. Does Marcus Davenport get 4.5 sacks this year? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Easy over for everyone. All right. I'm the biggest Marcus Davenport fan here, I feel. I'll bring it out here. This dude is elite. He just needs to play. We have all seen what he can do on the bench, but we need to see what he can do on the field. If he's anything like he has been in college and his rookie year, he will be phenomenal. We need a tag team partner for Hutch, and I have to will this. I feel like I got to manifest this. Someone's got to be there on Marcus Davenport's back to help get him through the tough times. And I hope that we're that people, because we need Davenport. So with Hassanin out forever, it seems like Nate Lynn didn't even make the team. Like, I don't know what we're doing at edge.
He's still resigned.
So I don't know what we're going to do. Hopefully
Davenport.
Yeah. I don't know. It's exactly. Pascal still hurt. It's terrible. We all took over there. DJ Reader, 3.5 sacks. Does he get 4 or more? DJ Reader, over or under on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3.
For a second, I thought that was the cornerback. I thought you said DJ Reed, and I'm like, this was a weird line. That seems a little high.
They actually get mixed up in the media a lot, too.
Yeah,
I bet.
I've been reading articles like, cornerback DJ Reader.
Wait a minute. That doesn't sound right. Jack Campbell, 129.5 total tackles, combined tackles. Does he break 130 or more, or stay at 129 and under on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Me and Adam say over. Julius, any particular reason you're taking under 130 tackles?
This over-under this year, based on our injury disaster of a season we had last year in Detroit, this is bounce back season. And I'm talking to likes Derek Barnes. I'm talking to likes of Zach Cunningham. I'm talking to likes of Malcolm Rodriguez when he rejoins. So I expect Jack Campbell will have to do all the heavy lifting in that regard.
Love that. We'll stay with combined tackles and linebackers. Alex Anzalone set at 99.5. Does he get 100 total tackles or more, or does he get 99 or less on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Adam, why are you saying over?
Anzalone, man, he's still the captain. I think he's gonna have something to prove too. He wants that new contract. The Lions kind of gave him an incentive boost, and I feel like they said, "Hey, look, you could still earn this contract if you show you still got plenty left in the tank." Anzalone sure as hell believes he does, and I think he's going to show it. And I think it's going to be him and Jack Campbell are going to be high hundreds, like 115 for Anzalone, 132 for Campbell.
Bold take for me. Anzalone is playing his last year in Detroit right now. This is it. This is it. So he might go out and make it. I'm taking under though. I'm just getting older. You never know. He's had a bad arm injury last year. Played with the club. We'll just see. I'm taking under. Derek Barnes, 74.5 total tackles. Does he get 75 or more total tackles coming back from an injury? They kept him out all last season. On the count of 3, 75 or more. Over or under 1, 2, 3. Where are we at? Over, under for Adam. Julius, why are you taking over for Derek Barnes?
Bounce back season, and I really like Derek Barnes. It's kind of like the same reason I took the over for Anzalone as well, and the under for Campbell. Obviously, I just think those guys are going to eat into the tackle amount. And Derek Barnes, healthy season, is one of our best tacklers. Damn near, if not the best, arguably. So I just think he makes that point. Shout out Derek Barnes.
Unless he's tackling Dak Prescott in his own end zone. Anyways,
Not on
we'll move over to defensive backs. DJ Reed, does he get 3 interceptions or more? 2 or under? 2.5 is where the line is. Over or under on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Under, over. Julius, right back to you. Why is he getting over 3 interceptions?
I believe he is our cornerback 2. I almost forgot about Terry. Oh shit, I forgot about Terry Arnold. That's really a guy that's gonna pop out of nowhere. But yeah, I can't change my mind because I just thought of Terry Arnold. So I'm just gonna say DJ Reed is a ball hawk. He's a lockdown corner. He's been a cornerback 1 in the past. I just think he's gonna have a great season that's gonna amount to 3 or more interceptions.
I love that. Let's go to Terrion Arnold. I got at 1.5 interceptions. Does he get 2 or more? Over or under on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Me and Adam go over. Adam, why are you taking over?
Strictly what Kirby Joseph said. He said Terrion's been balling out this training camp. He looks like a whole different player. Also changed his number from 0 to 6. So, me and my number changes. They could help a player become better, but might mean nothing, might mean something. I think year 2, we're going to see hopefully a Darius Slay type emergence where year 1, he just looked bad, looked like he, missed pick. And then year 2, we're going to see this guy pop off. I also think Brad Holmes doesn't miss too many first round picks. And I know he's had a couple little softballs with Hutch and Penne, but all in all, Terrion, I think will pan out just fine. And didn't have 1 last year, so I think he's going to be twice as hungry to get 2 this year.
He's going to be. We got 2 more defensive backs and 1 kicker to go. Brian Branch, does he get 4 interceptions or more? At the line is set at 3.5. On the count of 3, does he get 4 or more interceptions? 1, 2, 3. I'm the only one saying.
Wait, so is the line 3.5?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was making sure. No questions.
Yep. Line is 3.5. I'm saying under. You both take over. As much as I think Brian Branch is one of the best safeties in the league, I think there is already a ball hawk on the team, and Branch is just out looking to get forced fumbles, in my opinion. He'll have more of those than Kirby, but Kirby will get the picks. Speaking of Kirby, I set it at 6.5 interceptions. Does he get 7 or more, or does he stay 6 and under? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. Everybody says over. Kirby's going to get double-digit picks this year. We all know it, dude. He's a beast. We got Hutchinson back all year. Kirby's just going to sit and just take all of these basic punts from guys like Caleb Williams and Jordan Love and all of the fun names that are going to throw picks to my man Kirby. Shout out Adam for interviewing him. Last one we got, Jake Bates, 24.5 field goals made on the year. Does he get 25 or more field goals, 24 or less? Over under 24.5 on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Over. Julius says under. Julius, take us away. Why you say under?
Touchdowns, baby.
Oh, okay.
Touchdowns.
We just love touchdowns. I love that. That was our over-under annual show. We will come back to those in about 4 or 5 months, and we'll see how we did. We have one last thing we do on this show before every game. This is the first time we get to do it this year. We get to make our lovely prediction time. Does anyone remember who won last year? I think Julius did. Am I
It
right?
was Julius, I think.
I think so too.
I think so, guys.
With that, Julius gets to go first this week, and then it will go Adam, because I do believe he finished better than me, and then it will go myself because I was dead last year. Julius, we have to remind you and the fans at home, we pick a winning team. If that team is correct, you'll pick a score, but if the team is correct that you win or that you had winning, then you will see who's closest when it comes to the score. We are also going to pick an offensive MVP per person and a defensive MVP per person. And although they may not be the offensive defensive MVP of the game, we are going to award points to whoever the closest was out of us three. If the player has been picked, you no longer get to pick that guy when it comes to picking MVPs. So that's why it's nice to have the first one. Did we do the first person picks both OMVP and DMVP last year? Or did we go and snake it around? I can't remember.
I think we did both. But if you guys want to change it on a whim, make it more interesting.
What do you think, Adam?
Because if you got the first pick,
I think we should stick with both because the person that finishes last
gets the first.
Get the first.
That's right. Okay, then let's keep it going. Julius just gets the start now because he was the best last year. So, Julius, give me a score, give me a winning team, give me an offensive MVP and a defensive MVP.
So, are we doing a key to victory?
Oh, my God. Before we do any of that, let's do our keys to victory. I forgot we were doing that. So, yes, before you give us those, give us a key to victory and then give us your predictions.
So, my key to victory for the Lions in week 1 in Lambeau is to dominate the line of scrimmage. Something they have been able to do the last 2-3 plus outings against Green Bay. There is a new character in Green Bay by the name of Micah Parsons. Last time I saw him, he was laying on a bench on his team's sideline in Arlington. Talking about I heard he needs some shots in his back. He's getting old. Like I don't know what's going on, but dominate that line of scrimmage in Green Bay, and the Lions will come out victorious. Penei Sewell, Aiden Hutchinson, defense, offense, pound them, which I expect them to do when the Lions win by a score of 31-24. My offensive MVP is none other than offensive MVP of the league, Jahmyr Gibbs. My defensive MVP, and don't get me wrong, Jahmyr Gibbs is going to eat the middle of that field alive. What they going to do to stop him? Y'all got rid of Kenny Clark. Are y'all dumb? Defensive MVP, Aiden Hutchinson, on his quest to break the sack record, 24.5 sacks. Said it live on air 5 minutes ago. And it's going to be a great day. I'm so excited, guys. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, bro. I'm smiling ear to ear. Bro, life is great.
FTP week, baby. FTP week.
The Lions play this week. Let's go.
Let's go. Adam, what do you say, bud?
First key to victory, I think pound the rock, keep it simple. One thing I'm hoping for that the Lions do is just keep it simple this year. We don't need all the trick plays, but maybe when we are playing the Chiefs, maybe when we are Ravens, playoff game, pull out the trick plays for them. We don't need the trick plays for the Packers, the Bears, the Browns, Giants, Steelers, etc. I know the Lions can run them. I know it's not just a Ben Johnson thing that's, he makes happen. So as long as, we still got Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, and, the stars that can make those trick plays, I think the Lions should be able to do it. I just don't want them to do it as much this year. Keep it simple. Give Jahmyr Gibbs the ball, 25 touches a game. Monty, 10 touches, and just pound that rock. So Offensive MVP, Julius, you stole mine with Jahmyr Gibbs. So I will have to pivot to gotta go JMO. I think he's just gonna light the world on fire. I think we're gonna see a deep 50-yard touchdown pass to him. Defensive MVP also stole my Hutch pick. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Kirby. He kind of owns the Packers. Had a few interceptions off Rodgers when he was there. Had a pick 6 off Love last year. Kirby is a ball magnet when he's in Lambeau. So I'm going to go Kirby. Score prediction, I will go 27 to 17.
27-17. Lions?
Yes, yeah.
Lions, all right.
Of course.
All right. So the 2 keys of victory is win the line of scrimmage, offense and defense, and run the ball. My key to victory was be the Detroit Lions defense that you were last year to start the season. Before Aleem McNeil got injured, you couldn't run the football on us. And that's what I mean. I don't care about points or anything like that. Don't let this team, and I know we don't even have McNeil back, but you went and spent our first-round draft pick when we desperately felt like we all needed an edge rusher. You went and got Tyreek Williams. That is not an edge rusher. That is a big boy right in the middle. Hopefully we got him because we need to stop the run. Josh Jacobs is a very good running back. Green Bay leaned on him heavily. They're going to do that again. Stop that run. If Josh Jacobs finishes with 40 yards and under, it's a huge success, win or loss, in my opinion. It shows that we can freaking stop the run, that's what I'm looking for. Have the defense that we know you have and you had last year, and you have all the returning players except for McNeil. You have the linebackers to fill the gaps. You have Hutchinson back. Go be a great, stout running defense. And then when it comes to score predictions, I will also take a Lions victory. I will take a Lions victory in Lambeau, 33-30. My offensive MVP should be St. Brown because it's the Packers. You know how he plays against the Packers. But I'm going to try to take the low-hanging fruit-ish. I'm going to take Goff for just a big day against that shitty-ass secondary that we already talked about. And then do you guys remember what happened last time? I believe it was last time Brian Branch played the Packers in Lambeau. Do you guys remember what happened?
Did he give the bird to the crowd or?
And he got kicked out like 3 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
And we still won that game.
Threw the bird to the whole crowd on the way out.
Whole crowd. That was the same game, I believe, that Kirby got a pick 6 against Jordan Love, and we went in the rain. St. Brown does his handstand with Tim Patrick behind him. FTP. Brian Branch comes back with a pick 6, another opening day pick 6, much like when we were all together versus the Chiefs, and he took Mahomes. I'm taking Brian Branch here. And that was our predictions. That was our show. We have Detroit Lions football this Sunday. It's crazy to think about. Adam, take us out. Let's go watch some Tigers.
Yeah, Tigers did just take the league. Sawyer Gibson long pitching solid. Gave up 1 home run to Pete Alonso, but I think that's his only hit. But Lions are playing this Sunday, 4:25. So enjoy that red zone for the 1 p.m. games. We'll see how they go with ESPN now. That should be interesting. Hopefully no commercials. But we got Lions, baby. We are so back. Good to be back. Good to have all 3 of us back in the Sabre Room. Honolulu Blues. Check us out on X at Honolulu Blues _. Check us out on YouTube. Give us some likes, subscribes, all that stuff. I can't really tell what Julius is doing. If it was like
I think he was pointing to his all grit sign, and I was pointing to my grit sign.
Yeah, okay.
We got a lot of grit going on. Shout out Julius and his new backdrop, looking good out there.
Been working on it, boys. Been working.
Yeah, you guys kind of make my dad's office look pretty lame.
Let's go, Adam's dad office. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, one of these days, my dad will walk in and be like, "Where'd all this Lions shit come from? Why is there Kirby Joseph and
Heck
Barry
yeah.
Sanders and all sorts of stuff?" But as always, go.
Go.